Patrick Mahomes, 6 more touchdown passes, 10 in 2 weeks. He's got the most touchdowns ever for any quarterback in his first 2 games of a season. Yes, he deserves a lot of the credit. But this Pittsburgh secondary, without Joe Hayden, it is a dumpster fire. This defense, without Ryan Shazier, since his unfortunate injury, has gone way downhill. They have to win by scoring 40-plus points a game. 42-37, Chiefs win this one. And let's get right into the notebook. So this game, Chiefs start off with a 21-0 lead. And they just pounce on Pittsburgh. And you know, that's the thing about Andy Reid teams. They like to pounce on you early. He's known for his first 15 plays, that script that he has. And you can see in my scoring, man. So right away, it was 26-2 Kansas City, just right out of the chute. And there was problems just all over the place for Pittsburgh. So I'm going to show you guys to start how it was 26-2. But where I'm going to start in this game is actually all the way down here. So the Steelers, they fought back. Obviously, it's 21-21, and then it was 21-21 by the break. Kansas City scores on their first possession of the second half. And this is kind of where we'll start here. So as you can see, Pittsburgh, they climbed back in this. I mean, they made it 52-48 in my play-by-play scoring. But to start the second half, Kansas City, they just go right down the field. And they just start going into empty gun sets. They just start throwing the football. And Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill, who didn't even get targeted in the first half, gets targeted on the first play of the second half. Artie Burns, Mike Hilton. These 2 guys, not only were they not covering anybody, but they weren't tackling anybody. So we see here on the first play, we got a back shoulder ball. And then Hill makes a move after the catch to get away from Burns. And then, boom, you got a big 30-plus yard gain instead of something that should have been 12. And Artie Burns, Mike Hilton, this was a problem yesterday. You see on the next play, Burns gets burned again. Wide open downfield was Watkins. Mahomes unfortunately overthrew him. One of the few times that he actually had an incompletion. Travis Kelce, man, he was open all game, up the seams, just wide open. And when he wasn't open, Mahomes was fitting the ball perfectly in between the linebackers and safeties. And I'll get to that point. I'm pretty sure there was a play that I bolded. So here we go. And Kelce, he's wide open on the touchdown. I mean, these touchdowns, a lot of these touchdowns, these are wide open throws. These are easy throws. So there's that. Oh, and then their first-round pick, Edmonds, he didn't have a good game either. So he missed a tackle on 1 touchdown earlier in the game, if I remember correctly. I believe it was on Hunt, and Hunt just broke away from him along the goal line. I think that's what it was, but I'll check back in the scoring here. So he had the missed tackle, and then this play, late coming over on Kelce. He had a really, really tough game, and this was a kid that they drafted in the first round, a draft pick that I was very critical of. This was a mid-round pick that got taken in the first, and he's struggling his first 2 games of the year. So here we go. Oh, I forgot to update the score here. So Pittsburgh, they tie it up on the very next drive, and Pittsburgh, they basically just stopped running the football. So they got down 21-0. They were struggling to generate yardage on the ground. So kind of like Kansas City, they just went gun. They spread them out, and they were throwing the ball a lot. So there's that. One of the things – oops. Actually, wait. I don't know why I'm changing this. Sorry. That was 23 the whole time. I see what I did there. Okay. So I'm looking at this drive. All right. Oh, okay. So I want to talk about this. So Pittsburgh got down 21-0. They stopped running the football. One of the things that they started doing, they started targeting Juju Smith-Schuster a lot of crossing routes. And this is how Pittsburgh actually got back in the game. So crossing routes over the middle of the field, Juju Smith-Schuster, you went from being down 21-0 to tying the game at 21-21. They're still throwing these crossing routes. And this tackle by James, or this touchdown by James Conner, so Ragland had him at the 1-yard line, and he kind of just fought through the tackle. He spun in the end zone. That tied the game at 28-28. So James Conner, another I guess it was a solid performance. He didn't really get a lot of rushing attempts, but he had this touchdown that I was impressed by. Also had this one-handed catch, but I don't think he actually caught it in bounds. The penalty was the reason why they were able to move 15 yards, but he reached out, kind of like Antonio Brown, Odell Beckham style. Amazing. All right. So this is the throw I'm talking about. All right, to Kelsey. So here we go again. I mean, they just go right down the field, shotgun, and gun empty 23. So if you're not familiar with my scoring and how I do things, so 2 wide receivers to the left, 3 to the right, and they were just spreading them out, throwing the football. Pittsburgh had basically no answer here. They were without Joe Hayden and Tyreek Hill running wide and free, Sammy Watkins running wide and free, and then Travis Kelce. And this throw here was a thing of beauty. So Mahomes dropped it perfectly over John Bostic's shoulder, right into the lap of Kelce. That gained them 31 yards. They set him up with a 1st and 10 at the 12, and they were able to score 2 plays later. This play here with Robinson. So he had a play-action boot to the right. Robinson just working the back of the end zone. He's able to toe tap, and he's in. So that made the score 35-28. Man, I was not remembering to update the scores here. But this is when the game was basically won, right here in this these couple possessions. So you had the touchdown, and then Kansas City actually forced I thought this was not a 3-and-out, but back-to-back punting situations for Pittsburgh. So you're able to finally get Pittsburgh off the field after they were able to rally back from a 21-0 deficit. But the reason why they were able to get off the field, look at that, pass wide. Ben Roethlisberger was kind of inaccurate in this game, and he was inaccurate in the first game too. And I definitely noticed this the first 2 weeks. And this throw right here, I mean, sure, you could say a little bit of miscommunication. Ryan Switzer's new to the team. Switzer was kind of trying to break off his quick out route in his zone, from what I remember. And D Ford came with some pressure to force the quick throw. And D Ford, basically the only one who came with pressure from Kansas City. They only recorded 1 sack yesterday, considering how many times Ben Roethlisberger threw the football, 50-plus times. 1 sack, that's not enough. They were not pressuring Ben Roethlisberger enough. But that's why, Pittsburgh was really throwing the ball a lot, because not only was Kansas City stopping the run early, but obviously, again, going down 21-0, you got to throw the football. So Ben missed Switzer, on that 3rd down. And then Kansas City, boom, boom. They go right up and down the field again. I forgot to update everything in this. My goodness. So it's 42-28 Kansas City now. And this touchdown on Artie Burns, he'll beat him right off the line. So outside release, open down the left sideline. Mahomes hits him in stride, and it's 42-28 Kansas City. So there's that. Kendall Fuller actually competed well with Juju Smith-Schuster in the second half, I thought. And the other cornerbacks might be a problem right now in Kansas City. Fuller's an underrated one. He's the guy that they acquired in the Washington trade that sent Alex Smith over there. Because you got Orlando Scandrick. Steven Nelson kind of, is meh. Scandrick has always been kind of injury prone. He was underrated in Dallas, but he hasn't really been, that underrated lately. Obviously he's been struggling with injuries and stuff. So there's that. Kansas City, let the Steelers kind of get back in it here, because there's a safety here. Hunt was converged in the backfield. Watt came right off the edge. It was Artie Burns who actually made the tackle to force this safety, but Watt was the one who kind of started it. So he beat the tight end Harris off the edge, gets in the backfield. He was the one that was there first, and then obviously Burns with the tackle. But Pittsburgh unable to do anything as Alan Bailey, he's the one that records a sack on Ben Roethlisberger. Bailey, an underrated player on that defensive line for Kansas City. Just a straight bull rush. Just pushed the left guard Foster right back into the quarterback. And just like that, man, like it's 96-24 my scoring, and it goes up even more. So Kansas City just methodically puts this game away in the second half. And let's see what happened here. Oh, this play. Yeah, so they had a chance to really kind of put it away here. They were able to get a couple first downs. So 9:22 on the clock. They were able to get the ball back, obviously, after this Bailey sack. And they moved the ball. They got a couple first downs, but then Conley fumbled along the left sideline. So you had a tackle from behind by Hayward. He gets the strip. And Anthony Chicklow with the recovery before the ball goes out of bounds. So Pittsburgh finally able to score here. And, they make it 42-37. You had a backyard football play where Ben stepped up in the pocket. He hit Jesse James down the left sideline. He scrambles in for a touchdown. But then Pittsburgh's defense unable to get Kansas City off the field. So, yeah, the first play right off the bat, Hunt, off left tackle for 9 yards. Mitch Morse had a nice seal on this play. And there you go. That seals the game, basically. Hunt gets a first down on the next play, and boom. That's all she wrote. So that's it for this one. Now, let's see what else kind of happened in the first half. Do I have anything else to talk about? Let's see. Okay. All right. I kind of forget the first half already. I started watching this game last night, and I finished it just right now. Okay, here we go. Here's the seams again. I mean, wide open. Not only just Kelsey up the seams, but Chris Conley on the seams too. So this was a touchdown again. Artie Burns beat on this play. So there's that again. That's the other thing that happened early on in the game. Chris Jones was created havoc all over the place in the first half, whether he was pressuring in the backfield or stopping the run and stopping James Conner. Oh man, I remember this play. Broken coverage. A lot of miscommunication in the secondary in this game for Pittsburgh. Watkins was wide open down the sideline for 40. And that was, then we see a wide open touchdown to Kelsey again down the seam. Boom, 14-0. Here we go. Here's another example of another off-target throw for Big Ben. So Ben was moving to his left, and he threw it high to Washington. I think he broke free down the left sideline, and he just overthrew him, if I remember correctly. And here's the play that Edmonds missed the tackle. All right, so here we go. I remember this now. So Kareem Hunt had a swing play to the left flat. Edmonds missed the tackle. Can't do it. Sean Davis had a rough game too. I remember this stiff arm. I remember that. So there it is. Here's where Pittsburgh, 2:21 in the first quarter, they finally get the touchdown, but it's because they got Juju Smith-Schuster involved. So he had 3 catches on the drive. It was all crossing routes. And I remember too, they Kansas City actually scored, but there was a holding penalty that called it back. But Justin Houston created a strip sack. Chris Jones pounced on it and returned it for a fumble recovery touchdown. Let's see. Okay. All right, I think that's about it. I think I got everything I wanted to say. I think I talked about D Ford, right? I think I did. He had a good game with some pressures, and he was a guy, kind of a disappointing first-round pick for a little while for Kansas City, but he's kind of turned his career around. And he had a good game yesterday. So, all right, I think that's it for the scoring. I did forget to rate this game too. So I gave this game 3 stars. So there we go. So we had 42-37, Kansas City. Scoring was 107, 87, Kansas City, and a 3-star football game. There it is. Those are my thoughts on this game. Hoping to get more of these out in the coming week. See ya.